Hi everyone, I'm Sarah at Childhood Finds, and thank you for joining me for another video. This is going to be a part 2 in the Paperback softcover book series. And as always, I will link part 1 down in the description so that if you haven't watched it, you can check that out. This video, we're going to be looking at 12 different books. And much like the last one, I'm going to do much of it in the same style where I'll try to tell you a little bit more about the book if I can find it, just so you can maybe get an idea of why it's valuable. Sometimes I think that helps learn and really cement these items in your mind. I'll also use Terapeak on eBay. So I typically go back only 2 years. You can go up to 3 years back, but I feel like 2 years gives a good trend. And that is to show you, a trend of price. I'll try to show you recent as well, but I think trends matter too, because sometimes if it's a book or an item that's not as common, the last 90 days doesn't give the full picture on what the value could be. So this, like the last video, is going to be 12 completely different books, pretty much, a lot of them. There's really no common theme. They're just soft cover and paperback, and that they'll most likely surprise you that they're valuable. Other than that, we're going to go ahead and get started. Please put in the comments if you are surprised by any of these, or like in the last video, if you have ones that you want to share with us that you've personally sold that I did not feature in this video, or if you found one of them. I would love to hear that too. I'd love to celebrate with you guys if you found these books, or if you find them in the future. I'd love to celebrate with you. But other than that, let's go ahead and get started through these 12 new paperbacks to look out for. Okay, we're going to get started with our 12 different books today, and let me just give you one little disclaimer as well. This is only going to be prices on eBay, so this is really just a guide for you guys. There are other sites to look up book prices and other sites that are probably better to sell books on, but this is for ease of research and sharing information. So this is not the end-all be-all of pricing. This is just to give you an idea that these books are valuable, and if you can find them to either collect if you're a collector or sell if you're a reseller, then you should definitely look for them. So please always do your own research. I just like to do these to give you an idea of items out there because I love doing these research videos. It helps me a ton. I didn't know about any of these books. Not a single one of these books would I have picked up before this video. So I love doing these research videos, and I hope they continue to be valuable for you guys. And let's go ahead and get started with a couple different books. So this first one is going to be Notice by Heather Lewis. So this book has sold quite a few times. It's a relatively recent book, and you can see we have some down here in the hundreds and 150, but pretty likely to go 200 to 400. And the actual, I looked at actives, and I believe, so 485 is the lowest priced active book right now. So I definitely think, that range is a good indicator. I will say this is a controversial novel, and it's got controversial topics in it. Please look it up. I don't want to share too much because I don't know what YouTube would like me to say or not, but it is more controversial topics that it would definitely be worth checking out if you are a big reader. So, and this is a book that I believe the value also comes with the fact that this was published posthumously after the author's death. It was published in 2004, and she unfortunately did take her own life in 2002. So this was published a couple years after her death. And let's go ahead and just look at the cover art so you can recognize this. This one sold for $195. I definitely think if I found this book, I would sell it for more. I also, it would depend on condition, but if I had one in this condition, I probably would have sold it for more. But again, to each their own on pricing, my friends. Next book we're going to look into is To Drop a Dime by Paul Hoffman. And this is a true story book, which I think definitely contributes to the value. And this has a hardcover and a paperback version. So a few of these books I'm going to show you weren't first released in paperback or softcover. They were in hardcover. And that means that that's always going to, 99% of the time, it's going to be more valuable. So since we're here, I'm going to show you the value of the hardcovers of this book. So there's a couple up here that sold. One even with no dust jackets, it sold for $500. And ones with the dust jacket, we're looking at $1,000 and up. So worth quite a bit. But the paperbacks are still worth money as well. And you can see a couple here in the 400. Then we have 150, a 300, a 425. Oh, nope, that's no dust cover. That's a hardcover with no dust cover. So there's a few here to look at. And I think there's a couple listed as well. The cheapest available right now is $500 in paperback. And this one here is sold for $475, the price shown. And it's, let me read this to you. Plunge into the deadly life of a mafia hitman, the most shocking full confession ever. Yes, true story. And yes, the police caught this person and he told all to secure his freedom. And a lot of these books I'm going to have to check out now, see if they're on audiobook. Next, we've got the illustrated Dune. So if you have watched me at all, you know that Dune is definitely up there. I've sold a few Dune books, and look for the name Frank Herbert. You see that author name, you should probably check it out. And they definitely are going to continue to be worth money because of the movies. I do believe the next one's going to be coming out soon. I don't think it's come out yet. I'll have to double check. But in one of my videos, I think I talked about all 6 Dune books and their values in that video. At least the top 3 I remember. So that's definitely a name to keep an eye out for. But these ones are going to be paperback versions. And this one here is the illustrated Dune by Frank Herbert. And it was in 1978 it was released. And it's typically from $100 to $200. I will say there is one active right now for $65, but it's not in great condition. And honestly, I would still price it in the 100 or up range, just because this isn't a very common book. So I would just wait for the lower one to sell and sell mine later. So let's look at this one. This one sold for $129, and it's fully illustrated in color and black and white by John Schoenherr. And I have one more Dune book to share with you just because we're here. Why not? And this is the Dune Encyclopedia. And this, let's see, the complete authorized guide and companion to Frank Herbert's masterpiece of the imagination. The Dune Encyclopedia, compiled by Willis E. McNelly. And this one did sell for the $250. It's paperback, but there is a hardcover version of this as well. This sells into the $300 and $400 range. Next, we have Soft War, a Novel Theory. This is a very recent piece, and this was published in February of 2023, I believe. And right now, the cheapest available of this one is $400, but we are seeing quite a few sold above that. And let me give a word of warning. Anytime you have a really recent book, there is definitely chance for this book to just plummet in price, or to skyrocket in price, or to maintain, of course, with anything. I know that I just told you, and it's totally wishy-washy what I told you, but it's definitely more prevalent in very recent books. I also gave this warning in a cookbook video I did about, I think it was Brenda Gant's cookbooks that were released pretty recently. There's a chance of those going down in value. If more get released, etc., that could affect value. So just keep that in mind if you're watching this 3 years down the road and you look at this and this was only worth $10 now, don't get mad. I gave you a disclaimer. But right now it's worth a lot of money. And you can see we have $650, $600. This is sold a lot of times, guys. This book has been sold a ton. So you can see $400, $500. We're just gonna continue scrolling. So this book is out there. That's another thing I try to do on these research videos is I don't want to share with you one-offs. Yes, I could make a ton more videos if I shared one-offs, but I don't want to show you something that only one of them has sold in the last 10 years. because it's probably not as likely for you to find out there. So I want to show you ones that you could find. I also always try to avoid signed books because of course, signed is usually going to be more valuable. So I do try to avoid signed books because that skews values. I want to see what the actual book is worth. So let's go ahead and just look at this one. This one sold for $600 and they did receive positive feedback. And it's a novel theory on power projection and the national strategic significance of Bitcoin. A thesis by Major Jason P. Lowry. And let's see. So Lowry argues Bitcoin isn't just digital money, but is ushering in an era of digital warfare. I don't really get this stuff, so I don't have a ton to add on that, but definitely interesting. And sold for $600. And Bitcoin definitely is playing into the value of this. Next, we have Soil, Grass, and Cancer. And this was, let's see. Let's look at prices. I got a little tongue-tied there. So this one is a hardback. We're not looking at that. We're looking at these ones down here that are the 560, 553, 550, 500. So those are the ones we're looking at. And this 1959 hardback. So the paperback we're looking at is actually a re-release of the works. And so this is Soil, Grass, and Cancer by Andre Wasson. The Link Between Human and Animal. And you can tell I'm getting tongue-tied because I don't really understand this book as much. And it highlights link between soil fertility and human and animal health. So Andre was a biochemist and farmer, and he was born in 1903 and passed in 1964. And so his works were republished in this one in 1999 in this soft cover version, but there is a hardcover version as well that definitely doesn't come up as much, but it's still also worth money. This one here sold for $600. Next we have, this one makes me smile. Okay, we've got Do Abominable Snowman of America Really Exist? And it's by Roger Patterson. And it sells for $200+, guys. It's sold a few times and it's out there. Yeah, even up into the $300-$400. I didn't look if there's any actives. Let's see if there's actives of this one. I might make my computer blow up by doing more than I asked it. Oh no, I do remember there's no actives of this version. So there's reprints that are available, but there's no actives of this one. So this one sells for a lot. Let's check it out. And yeah, this is just Do Abominable Snowman of America Really Exists, Roger Patterson, Bigfoot, Sasquatch. And when was this released? I believe this was released, second edition, 1966. Let's read the back, guys. In the vast, unexplored regions of America exists a living, breathing reminder of prehistoric days. He has several names: Giant Hairy Ape, Bigfoot, and Sasquatch. He is the counterpart of the Himalayan Yeti or Abominable Snowman. Yes, there does exist an American Abominable Snowman. He is not a myth or a hoax. Come with me as we seek out the facts about this 20th century mystery. Come with me as we travel a rugged road into the unknown. A road that will take us from the campfires of Indians and mountain men to the pages of a modern newspaper. A road so charged with excitement and steeped in mystery that you'll never forget one exciting mile of the journey. But sold for $225. Sorry, I just felt the need to read it. It's fun. The stuff here that's valuable is fun. I might have picked this one up because I would be intrigued by the cover. Next we have Hip Hop, an illustrated history, and this pricing ranges from $200 to $400. You can see there's a couple that touch the $500, but $200 to $400 is kind of where we're looking. The Octopus Conspiracy. Sorry, that just took my attention. That's by the same author as this one. I'm highly distracted this video, guys. As you can tell, It's been a week, but let's go ahead and look at this one. So it's Hip Hop, the Illustrated History of Breakdancing, Rap Music, and Graffiti. And this sold for $280. And it's not a very big one. Let's see. Oh, I don't know if that's, I don't think that's signed. That doesn't look like it. But it's by, let's see, Stephen Hager. And let me see the copyright here. This one doesn't have as much information as I'd like it to. And it's very blurry. But either way, this book, look out for this, The Illustrated Dancing, or Illustrated History. And I don't have much more to share about this because the title kind of gives you the idea of what the book is about. Just like the Abominable Snowman one, I probably didn't need to talk about either, but here we are. Next we have Halloween. And I don't have Terror Peak on this one, but this sells for around this. This is Curtis Richards' Halloween 1979 Bantam paperback, first edition, first printing. And this did sell for the $274.99. It did get positive feedback. And this is a novelization of the movie. So it came after the movie, this one. And I have another one kind of like, there are more, so more Halloween books to look for, but I wanted to share this one with you. And then we also have Friday the 13th, did the same thing, where these are novelization of the movies. And there's a couple different parts. You can see here that we have one that went for $880. And I believe I looked at that one and it got positive feedback. And that was the original first. Then we have part 2. We have another first printing one, part 2. So I'm showing you this one that's a lot, just so you can see all the different ones. And we can go over each title. Whoops, there we go. And this is 5 of them. So we've got the original Friday the 13th, Friday the 13th part 2, Friday the 13th part 3, Jason Lives Friday the 13th part 4, and Friday the 13th part 3 3D. And this did sell for the $400. It did receive positive feedback. The spines aren't in great condition, but the books in general don't look to be in very poor condition. So I'm just going to go through these pictures so you can see the covers. So definitely keep your eye out for these. And absolutely you could make more if you parted these all out. That's probably what I would have done, but $400 in one shot is also great. And this is They Are by Simon Hawke. Next we have, I had to share another Richard Bachman, guys. I just had to. So this is the second book that Richard Bachman wrote, also known as Stephen King. So this is the second one he wrote before he was found out. So he wrote 5 books before then. First 4 were in paperback, and the 5th thinner in hardcover. And this one did sell for $469.99. And it's The Long Walk by Richard Bachman. First printing 1979 is when this one released. The other one we talked about, Rage, was 1977. And I believe this is the last one we're looking at, and this is 36 Faces. And I just wanted to show, so this one I'm going to preface it by saying there's different versions as well. There's hardcover and soft cover of this one. And I actually looked on the website, and there was 1,296 paperbacks sold and 432 hardcover, 108 deluxe ones. So hardcover, of course, is going to be worth more, but I'm seeing that the soft cover here tends to be in the $200 range. And who's to say that that won't go up in value, because it was a limited release of them. So let's check this one out. And it was released in 2014. And let me make sure this is my soft cover version that sold for $260. And I have a little bit more information about this. So it's 36 Faces by Austin Coppock. 2014, out of print. It's The History, Astrology, and Magic of the Deacons. So Deacons, their division of the 12 zodiac signs into 3 equal parts, hence the 36, and talks about that. And I just wanted to show you a hardcover since we're here. The hardcover sold for $680, just because I happened to pull this one up thinking it was the softcover version, so I just wanted to share it with you. Look out for this one as well. So I was a little scattered this video, guys. I apologize, a little less prepared, I suppose, but I hope that this was valuable for you. I will probably do another video in time, and if you ever have any ideas of research videos on random things that you'd like to see, go ahead and put that down in the comments. I'm always up for more ideas of things to research and check out because I love learning about new items. All these paperbacks have pretty much been new to me, so it's been a great experience. So again, thank you for joining me on this video, and I hope to see you on the next one.